how you got there. I only care about the impact.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that's what I still see a lot of that in Facebook where they show a great picture and they will the only text that they put on it is Leica M3 Summicron 50 1.2 and Ilford HP5. It's like, okay, well, so who cares? I don't care about that.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
don't.
I'm interested in one thing. That's not okay. Now, even if you, yeah, and I don't subscribe to the storytelling, visual storytelling. I don't subscribe to that. But I tell you this right now: the camera that you used is not the story. That's not relevant to this story. And
Exactly.
I use story in air quotes. It's not relevant to the story that you're trying to tell. You have no title. You have no background. You have no nothing. You have the tools that you use to make it, and that's it. It's pointless. And they continue to do this, and I'm like, and then when you say something like, okay, great, I see the tool. I usually what I'll say is something like, great, I see the tools, but where's the work? And then sometimes they get offended, sometimes they don't, and sometimes they have no. Either way, they have no idea what I'm talking about. It's like, dude, who cares? I saw one. Here's the funny thing is somebody pulls out their freaking $1,000 Contax T2 or whatever the hell it is. I don't even care. And then they post a picture of it on Facebook that they took with their cell phone.
Right?
I'm like, dude, that should tell you something right there. That should tell you what is important. And the fact is to you, speaking it to these people, to you, the tool is important, not the work. Because you put your tool on a table and take a picture of it with another tool, and then you post the end work. You don't care what tool you use really, because the picture that you're posting is your cell phone.
Right.
So, you want to badmouth cell phones and talk about shooting film, these great film cameras, but when you take a picture of this great film camera, you use your cell phone. It's the biggest contradiction in film photography.
Right.
Other than scanning
Yeah.
negatives and
Oh,
digitizing
I
them.
I love these film photographers that talk about that shit. They go, yeah. So after I took the picture, on my blah 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 film camera, I just had to go into Lightroom and tweak this and tweak that, and I'm going, what? I thought the whole point of film was that this is it. This is what I got with my naked eye.
hmm if that's what you want, if that's what you want to do, I'm more power to you. I'm cool with that. If you want to shoot film and you want to say this is it, I'm going to shoot some ungodly number of frames, and there's going to be a handful of frames that are just freaking stellar. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I totally support you in that. But if you want to shoot a frames and frames and frames, and then because they're not very good, you want to send them to Lightroom or Photoshop and make them good. No, you're not going to do that, because what you're saying is all you're doing is changing the medium. I could do the same thing on a digital camera, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And that's the funny thing. They look at these things and go, well, it doesn't look the same. Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
To the human eye, it freaking does. You want to get in there with a high-end supercomputer and go down and analyze that shit and do photographic analysis, photographic forensics. Yeah, you go right ahead, and you're going to see the difference.
Yeah.
And they talk about how if you zoom in far enough, you see a pixel. You can see the pixel in the photo. Well, if you zoom in far enough on film, you can see the grain in the film.
Yeah.
It's no difference. It's no different. To
No
them, they
different.
think there's a difference, but there isn't.
Like I said, if you're going to talk photography, it all comes down to what's the impact on the consumer.
Yeah.
And by consumer, I don't necessarily mean an exchange of money. I'm talking about the person who's going to look at that picture and say, "Wow, I
Yeah,
like that." I
yeah.
can't tell you why. And that's going to be about 90% of everyone who looks at your pictures. I don't know why I like it. I just like it.
There's no reason you don't. If you're spending your time analyzing somebody's photographs, that's not the point. You missed that point. That
Yeah.
makes no sense. It's like when somebody says, you're getting married. You're getting married here pretty soon, and they'll say, well, why did you decide to marry her? And you think about it, and you go, well, there's a lot of different reasons, but I can't actually put my finger on one reason. It doesn't. It's not like that. The human mind, the human heart does not work that way. It
No.
doesn't analyze. No, your brain does that. Your heart doesn't do that. Your heart takes in data and it says, that girl's really nice. I like her. I think I want to spend the rest of my life with her. It takes in a picture and it says, wow, there's something about that picture. I just get pulled in.
Music.
And it, yeah,
Same thing.
music's
I don't.
exactly the same thing.
I don't hear a song and pick apart the chord progression or the the uh, the meter of the lyric.
Mm-mm.
I just hear it, and I hear it as a full composition. I see it as a full picture,
Yeah.
and then I go, I like it, or yeah, it's not really my thing, or I can listen to it, so whatever. But it's my choice, and it doesn't matter. I don't care what equipment we use to make the song. None of those things matter in the end result. It's like you said. Are you a consumer or are you a
Are you a
creator?
creator? Yeah. Yeah. When you're talking about not picking apart music and breaking it down into its components, that's the same thing with everything, and it's the same thing with photography. You look at those somebody's photos. If you want to,
Yeah.
you can turn on that. You can turn on the analytics and then break it down. But the problem is you're moving out of the viewer realm. You're no longer really a viewer. Instead, you're analyzing it, and that's not what the photographer should want. If you're a photographer and you want to hang your work so people can look at it and go, oh hey, his composition was good here, and he was slightly overexposed. You don't. That's not art. Nobody does that. Nobody does art so that somebody will break it down and expose all the little niches and stuff. Nobody does that. It's pointless to do that. People put out art for one thing, so that somebody will look at it and have some kind of reaction to it. And that's
No,
that's
no
super
one.
that's super that's super simplifying it. But basically, what you're doing is, unless you're doing it for your own enjoyment, you want somebody to get some kind of um, of message from it. You
Um,
want them to look at it and go, okay. Um, I've talked about how I think that I make images to make images so you can look at them and go, hey, that's cool. That's it. I'm not telling a story. Some people
Michael
tell a story. But,
Michelangelo did not paint the Sistine Chapel so that someone could get up on a goddamn pedestal, get 3 inches from it, and go, "Oh wow, look at the
yeah,
brushstroke here." And say it's really weird. No, he
no,
painted it so you could stand at the bottom of uh, that the cathedral.
yeah. Oh, the chapel, the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And so you can stand at the base of it and look up and just be amazed at what you saw.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. I think. Obviously, I haven't talked to Michelangelo,
Well,
but
yeah,
I
and
think. Well, he's been dead for a while, but I think that he
oh,
did it for. Well, it was obviously it was a religious, but I think he was doing it for two reasons. One is to convey the message that the story tells, but the other one is to make you realize how tiny you really are. As soon as you walk in there, I mean, not only is the building gargantuan, but the paintings just they illustrate how tiny every human being is and how insignificant you in the cosmic scheme of things you really are. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't particularly.
My thing with that painting is the fact that it's like you knew you were going to have to work on a some kind of scaffolding setup to stand at the base of that and breathe in the scale of what you would have to do. That's what's incredible about it to me.
Yeah, I wonder if he walked in there. I don't know how many painters were actually involved in that. I doubt that he did it all himself. But I wonder what he thought when he walked in that front door and whoever the hell, whatever religious leader it was, said, "Hey, I'd like you to paint the ceiling."
Yeah.
Oh, no, not just here. I want you to run it all the way down to the other end of this building.
Yep.
And he's like, "What? What? You want me to what? And how long do I have to do it in?" Okay. But Michelangelo, being the consummate professional he was, he looked up and he said, "Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. I need this, and I need that. And I need it tomorrow. And I got to get going."
I'll give you another one. Mount Rushmore.
Oh God, that was I still can hardly comprehend that. When I look, and I've never seen it live. Have you ever seen it live?
No,
Yeah, I liked it.
it's all, I passed by it on the highway, the off ramp that says you got to go this way to see it.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's right off a highway. You actually got to drive up.
Yeah, it's out in the boonies. Yeah.
But just the scale of that thing. I marvel at the scale.
Yeah.
That someone looked at that and said, "Okay, I'm going to do this."
Yeah. I wonder. It's yeah, crazy.
I mean, part of it would had to include explosives.
Well, there was a lot of it. I saw how they did it. They drilled it. They drilled holes. They packed it and they blew it out to rough it out. And then there were guys with jackhammers that were smoothing out the stone. It was freaking. It was nuts. I saw a documentary. It's not that old. I saw a documentary of it. It was freaking nuts. Those guys were crazy.